All right, y'all, welcome back. What we're going to tie today, this is the Gonga. This is a variation of the way this is tied. With this one, I substitute some of the materials out, like the marabou. I substitute that out for extra select crab fur. I have a issue with some of my marabou bleeding through after it gets wet, but the extra select, it stays good. So I just go with that. What I have in the device tonight, this is a size 2. It's 4XL. 2X hard. Thread that I'm tying with tonight is 70 denier in black. I'm going to start right behind the eye. Get a slot base build up here. We're going to come back about 3 hook eyes, 3 to 4 hook eyes back. Trim that out. For the eyes on this fly, I'm tying in a 532 lead eye in yellow and black. Normally, we're going to put some legs on this fly, so I try to match the eye color and the leg color. This is one of my favorite colors anyway. Works great with black and green. I'm gonna get those in there, let them roll over. That way this rides hook point down. Or if you were fishing a lot of snags, places like that, you can leave them turned up and let it ride hook eye up. It's gonna be about the same anyhow. Take a couple figure eights in that super glue. That way it gets a good secure bond. Take a couple wraps in the back. We're gonna come in with our craft fur. If you don't have craft fur, like I said, just use marabou. It'll be just fine. Come in, get me a nice clump of that. I'm gonna come in, pull out all those loose ends and the butts. Hit it with my brush. It's a little thin for my liking, so I'm gonna add a little bit to it. It's one of the downfalls to using the craft fur over the marabou is it can be a little thinner sometimes. But when it comes down to the way it holds up and the fact that it doesn't bleed through and get all over your other flies, that's why I switch over. All right, for the tail, it's roughly the shank, the overall, and probably about 1/4 to 1/2. So let's take a look at it. Okay. Don't tie that right up next to the eyes. We're gonna need some tie-in space there here pretty soon. Whether you use it to marabou or a craft fur, you're gonna wanna pull this material up. Don't worry, if you break your thread off, there's enough tight wraps on there to take care of it. You guys probably getting pretty used to seeing me break thread. I'm just gonna come right back across the top of that. Like I was saying, we're gonna pull that tail material up. That's gonna help keep it centered on the shank. Come all the way back to about halfway through the gouge. And that's the tail. For the body of this fly, we're gonna use black schlappen. We're going to tie it in by its tips. This is going to help give this a little extra flow in the water. Cut that into our little triangle. Catch it in on the side. Break our thread again. Might be something wrong with this bobbin. Usually don't break out that easy. Try it again. Now we're going to come in with some medium cactus chenille. If you don't have cactus chenille, you can use laser dub. Spin it up into a noodle. This is the way the original's tied. I tie it with this because it's already made for me. You catch that in. Start working our way back up. I'm going to take one good full wrap. We're going to start pulling those fibers to the rear, whether you're using cactus or a spun noodle. You still want to pull all that stuff to the back. Create a good full body. Catch that in. Where you tied in your so you got that nice clean tie-in point. We're going to put a little overwing and some other stuff in here. Same thing with your chenille or your dubbing. You're going to want to pull these fibers back as you go. Don't worry if you get some of them trapped, you can come in and brush them out or pick them. I think it'll be fine, just like that. You can also tie this in from the front if you want to. That way you can secure it with a light wrap of wire. Capture that, pull it all back, watch that hook point. Come in and clean this out. We'll open our thread up a little bit. This is where we're going to come in with our silly legs. I'm using yellow and barred, black and yellow. That way it matches my eyes. You don't have to do it that way. It's completely up to you. You can experiment with these colors and change them around. I'm gonna roll this over. With my legs, I'm gonna come halfway into my tail. Come up from just behind the eye. I'm gonna cross them over. Then tie them right across that lateral line on my side. Come in and trim out my side. And if you're tying baby gongas, that's enough to tie a whole new set of legs. So you can hang on to those. Takes us some curing wraps here. Come in just behind the eyes. Now if you're using marabou, you're going to tie another piece of marabou roughly 2/3 into the tail. I'm still using this select fur. So I'll come into the patch and take out another smaller clump. Don't need as much for the overwing on this. Brush that out. Nice little restack. I'm going to come in and measure about 2/3 in. Clip this off. Right on the top, right behind the eye. Make sure it stays right on the top. Make sure we don't lose that. I'm going to come in and put a small drop of Zap or UV resin on there. This select fur can be slippery sometimes. Get off all that extra. Don't glue your fingers to it. You can if you want to, I don't recommend it. Okay, now that we're here, we're gonna come in with some laser dub. The laser dub that I have tonight, this is a black and purple silver mix, just to give a little contrast to the head. Just kind of mess with it here a little bit. Get the edges lined up. I'm going to come in and tie this 30-70, so I want 70% of my clump to be in the back. We're going to trim some of this out, so it's okay. Take one wrap and secure it in. I'll rotate it over. We're going to put one more clump in the back. Same way. You don't want to get too carried away underneath because we're going to cut a lot of that out for sure. Pull it to the back. Advance our thread. Okay. We got the fly turned over. We're going to add in a little hot spot of orange. Rotate it over. Jump to the front of our eyes. Now we're in the front. And do it all over again. You can dub this in with a noodle here too. Kind of roll that around so it's 50-50 around the hook shank. Flip it. Do it again. Now when you build heads like this, if you don't want to waste all this laser dub, you can just build it out of wool or another synthetic, EP fibers or something like that. Advance. Rotate and advance again. I'm going to pull everything to the back. Build us a little bulkhead here that will keep all those fibers from coming forward. We're almost done here. This is the most time-consuming part of the whole fly. If we were using wool, we would be done. This part doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to come in and cut a lot of it out. Build up a nice head. Catch any of your fibers coming out. Clean that piece out. Put your little UV or super glue on there. Set it. There we go. come in and pick all this up. Okay, first cut, straight up and down. Second cut, roughly in line with the hook point. And we're going to come in and cut roughly a 45 on both sides of the eyes. Then we're going to come up, cut another 45 rough up. Get a nice head. Come in with our curved scissors. Now this is where you want to just take your time, clear out around the eyes. That way they show through real well. Just remember, you can't put it back on after you chop it off. Now we're going to come in and build just a nice little bullet shape head. This thing's gonna push a lot of water. And that's it. That's the Gonga. It's one of those fly patterns that you can take all kinds of fish with. Tie you up some, show them to your friends. Go check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If there's anything you guys ever want to see, like always, leave it in the comments below and we'll get to it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And until next time.